with today. How'd you feel like today went?
I thought it went well. You want this to be a little warmer though for August, and I think, but it's all good. I think they're getting a lot of work in. You're not seeing these guys at a point of breaking mentally or physically at any stage of the game here. I think usually if it was, 90s and we're 100 some on this turf, you have a better chance of seeing that. But I like it because they're not in a situation where they're even thinking about that. And we talked a lot about it last night. You either got to compete or complain. You can't do both, and either full of pride and won't allow yourself to have mental and physical and emotional lack of discipline and toughness, or you fill yourself with pity and you have a lack of all three of those things. So to me, it's ultimately those quadrants you got to play, and above the line you got to be making sure that you're in a spot where you're not complaining, you're just competing, and you're not full of pity, you're full of pride. So it's really those things that we just got to keep working on as we go through this. Is there's a mental game and an emotional game that needs to be played every day when you're gelling 54 new guys together, and I think they're doing a really nice job of it.
Have you liked the progression of camp so far? Have you gotten better every single day, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I thought yesterday the offense was really on fire with a lot of things that were going on, and I think it usually takes the defense a day of getting exposed at some point to really tighten things up, and then I thought today was a little bit of a better day for the defense. I don't know how the scoreboard ended, but I know that there were some really nice plays made on defense. They got their hands on some balls. They just got to secure them and come down with them. But offensively, I think we just keep taking steps forward and doing a really good job. We're in way more situational football. Clocks are running, play clocks are running, scoreboards, counts, all that stuff. So, I like the progressions we're making.
Talk about Eastside a little bit and what you've seen offensively. Are you even surprised by how far along the offense is, obviously compared to last year, but even just with some new guys mixed in?
Well, I think it all sort of goes through the quarterback, right? Ultimately, it all ends up there. If he can't execute things, it doesn't much matter. And I think last year at this point, everybody's learning it. We had a spring together, and that was it. You have Zoe, who's been in the system, for now 2 years. You have Sluka, who's been in it for a little while. And then you have back there JC, who fully understands it all. Blake understands it all. Cam, is probably the one that has the least amount of, reps logged in it, and he's still doing a heck of a job. So it really starts with that group, and they're all doing a really good job, which is allowing us to advance and move quicker. We can handle some protection checks, we can handle some alerts, we can handle some, going on two and things of that nature, and it's all really starts with them. So the surprise we're ahead, not really, because we're, in year 2 of it.
How about defensively? What have you seen on that side as you've gone through the first 6 days?
Yeah, I think looks really good. We're just continuing to tighten things up, and there's a lot of multiplicity in here right now, and I think there's a lot of guys doing some really, really good things. The guys that we need to step up, and I'm not going to mention any names yet until we get a little more evidence of it, but as guys that we really, really needed to step up are really stepping up, and there's some pretty impressive things happening out there on that side of the ball as far as technique, as far as truly understanding their assignment, but then the assignment within the assignment, right? The ability to set something up to execute your actual job. There's a mind game in there, and they're doing a really nice job of the depth of the understanding of it so they could execute on a higher level.
For the most part, you had all of your wide receivers in the spring, but you got a couple additions in the spring portal. How have you seen them kind of adjust to that group so far?
I think they're all great. I think they're all doing a really good job. It's impressive to watch them that they just come out here, and it's a fun group to watch because they keep gelling and coming together more and more every day. There's not jealousy in there. They're excited about the other guy having an opportunity, and they're excited to compete with the other guy. That's what the best players in the world do. And best teams in the world, they can celebrate their teammates' successes. And I'm watching those guys do just that, and maybe one day one guy's a little bit better than the other, but you don't see a guy leaving the field pouting. You see him almost being like, man, he had a day today, I can't wait, mine's tomorrow. And when you have that and you allow someone else to uplift you, and you recognize that they were maybe had a more productive day that day, it still keeps going back to the process though. Like, how do I just keep getting better and handle the things I can handle? Yeah, he got hot today, but my time's coming, or my time already has, and it'll be back again. Those are the mentalities that I think us celebrating each other's success, and then just continuing to wait for those opportunities. When those opportunities present themselves, make the most of them. And I think that's an important piece of this, and they're doing a really good job.
When we talked to the guys last week, they were really talking about kind of the impact Coach Krosky's had early on, and I know we got a taste of that in the spring, but how have you kind of seen his impact now that you guys are out here in the fall on the field, like starting to get the pads on?
Yeah, well, I think that we're in a good place as far as strength and conditioning. The strength part, is really impressive to watch these guys. We went through like a little, whole thing of where we were a year ago, where we are this year, the improvement that's been made, and it's pretty impressive to look at those numbers. Obviously, I think he's the best in the business. That's why he's back here. But he started as a football coach, right? So to truly understand what these guys are going through every single day, he possesses that understanding and that knowledge knowledge and, that emotional intelligence for what they're going through. And he's a great motivator on top of it, and it's fun to watch him. And I just, I'm glad he's back here, and I thought the things he's done over the summer and the things he's doing right now, just continue to be impressive.
What are some things you hope to see from your players or learn about your players with the first preseason scrimmage coming up?
Well, it depends how we handle it and how we treat it, which we'll find out how we're going to treat that when we get to Saturday morning, ultimately. We have today, we're in a good spot. We have a day off tomorrow. We get to Thursday, Friday. We just got to see how we come out of Thursday, Friday. Make sure that we're good. Make sure the mileage that these guys are putting on and the volume's not too high. A couple little, actually really nothing major, but just it affects the depth just a little bit, with just a little, an ankle or something like that. The cool part is there's really not like soft tissue injuries just yet, knock on wood, and hopefully we can continue that trend going forward. But everybody has their moments, and sometimes you overuse them a little bit, but that's again goes back to Coach Krosky of what he does. But that's a long answer to I don't know the answer to it, right, just yet, until we figure out who's available, where exactly are we at, what have we gotten done, how much can we force in these next 2 days, and then what does the scrimmage become? Does it have to be a 70-play scrimmage, or can it be something a lot less, and can we focus on some of the younger guys that didn't get as many reps up to this point in time? That's what we're gonna have to figure out.
One of the position groups maybe we haven't talked a lot about is your specialists right now. How much have you noticed that flexibility early on of having a right-footed kicker and a left-footed one, and the same at punting too?
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things. I've never had that luxury. Up to this point, I've had a righty kicker and a lefty kicker, but never a righty-lefty on both punter and kicker. I just think you face a lefty punter, that ball spins differently. That is a whole and you're just nervous about it as a coach all week, because you know that your guys haven't seen that, and now here they go getting the different spin to their left pocket, which is different than the way they see it every day. That's really something that I'm just really excited that we have that ability to do. But then it also allows us to just keep competing, and we're going to find that guys are better on this hash than that hash, and there's going to be a lot of things that come with it, but both can put the ball in the end zone on kickoff. Both punters are very capable. I think Vance Slyke hit a 55-5-5 yesterday, but then we're getting in some rollout things. There's a bunch of cool things that we're doing that I really like watching those guys, but they're different. They're all different, and we just got to keep playing to their strengths. But it's one of the greatest luxuries in the world to have 2 kickers and 2 punters, both righty and lefty.
We're talking to Ganon in a couple of days, and I know Trent has spent plenty of time hyping him up so far in this preseason. How much have you seen him grow over even just the first week of fall camp? Yeah, his composure is way different. His ability to control himself is way different. His ability to pursue the football and be really firm at the end and understand leverage and just understand his coverages. And then, honestly, his just overall control. We're trying to keep each other safe out here, and he was just driving on this one ball at one point, and I think a year ago that receiver would have ended up in the dirt, and it would have been a whole thing where we got to stop practice and yell, and he just at the last second had enough composure to put his hands up and let it go by, and it was just really a neat thing to watch. So along with all the scheme, along with all his skill, along with his body development, along with his mental game, along with how he understands this defense, along with his aggression and his ability to bend and just contort his body differently, he's becoming the full package. So pretty awesome to watch him. We got a long way to go. It's day 6, but he's doing an unbelievable job.
A lot of fresh faces in that receiver room. Can you just talk about Jaylen and kind of like what he brings to the table?
Yeah, he's done a really nice job. I think they're all doing a good job, though. He's a physical kid that he has big, strong hands. He puts his hands on you, and you'll feel it. So he can block. He catches the ball in tight windows. He's very precise with his routes. Good and quick off the ball, and then he can take the top off it too. So there's a lot in there. Like, his game's complete. So we need him to continue to do that. He brings it every day. His energy's right. His effort's right. His attitude's right. We just need him to keep moving along like everybody else.
Assess Alonzo a little bit. Is he limited at all in anything? And it seems like he's a different player right now.
Yeah, no, he's not limited really in anything. And we're not going live with anything, so he's not limited in anything. So I think he's done we'll just keep talking about it. He's done a great job. He's done an unbelievable job. He really understands the offense at a high level, and he's just very composed back there and poised and as accurate and good as he could be.